One thing I'm noticing, and perhaps you are too, if you are now thriving on a ketogenic diet or a zero carb or animal-based diet, carnivore, there seems to be a lot of videos appearing on my YouTube feed about people who are quitting carnivore for all kinds of reasons. Inevitably, most go back, but they want you to see this, click on it. And if these people have had a past where, everyone's got their different circumstances for coming towards a zero carb and now thriving and having a reversal of these problems, they want to plant, when I say they, the algorithms want you to get some doubt and uncertainty in your mind about the way you are eating. And if they can cause that in you, then hopefully you will go off that and go back to eating more and more carbohydrates. These food companies that are manufacturing highly processed foods are making a fortune off people. They're making a fortune off their ill health that's occurring and their obesity, as is the pharmaceutical companies and the medical corporations. So they're seeing that a lot of people are shunning carbohydrates and going back to their natural diets and are reversing all kinds of things and having a level of health they've never experienced before. And they're buckling down even more to prevent people doing that because it's a loss of revenue. I mean, here I am approaching 70 and, I remember going back to when I was young, to the family doctor who was a trusted, caring friend who knew us very well. And when you saw a family doctor, they didn't sit in front of a computer. They were looking at you face to face, right in front of you, doing certain diagnostic things just with feeling pulses, heartbeats, certain things. And if you were not feeling well, what did they recommend? Are you getting enough sleep and rest? Going to bed earlier? Waking earlier? Go to bed with a glass of milk? Are you exhausted? Well then, what was the advice? You need more rest. If you were struggling, perhaps not getting enough exercise, that was one thing they'd also suggest. But also, if you're feeling melancholic, was to get out in the sun, get more sunshine. So this is what was told to us. They didn't go straight to a script of any kind. And of course, it's all different. Now that I'm approaching 70, they don't want people like me who don't go to doctors anymore, who are thriving, who have more strength, have more capacity to recover from any exercise. My ability to play sport and not be out of breath and have my lung capacity increase substantially and my recovery to just not even be there. I'm not huffing and puffing at all after even 2 hours of vigorous exercise. They don't want people like me at my age to be doing that. Why? Because they're not going to have any customers. They don't want people like me to not be in any medications whatsoever. They're in awe. If I rolled up at a doctor and they'd said, well, what are the medications taking? I said, none. How can that be? Have you had this test done recently? Have you had that? Have you had your cholesterol? Maybe you've got high cholesterol. Maybe you need to be on statins. How's your blood sugar? Maybe you need to be on diabetic medicine. I mean, they don't want people like me to be free of these things. They want to test you. They want to be able, you to be caught up in this system, especially at my age, where I go to the doctors every week and I'm having a new script to counteract the previous script that's now giving me terrible side effects. And I've got all these horrible symptoms and they want to write out another one to counteract that. And you're on this vicious cycle of going down the drain of ill health, and they want to maintain that ill health. So eventually you lose your independence, you lose your ability to take care of yourself. They don't want to have people like me thriving and getting stronger and not having a risk of dementia, diabetes, heart disease, or stroke. They don't want people like me to be in this state of health. They don't want people like me to have incredible mitochondrial health that normally would be so depleted by now. At least 70% of people over 70, my age, would have lost a lot of their mitochondrial function. And that's what they're looking at, these kind of illnesses, because they're on carb-heavy diets. So their doctors are not telling them to have more meats, more organs, meat broths, vegetables from the garden, and to avoid all these processed foods. They haven't got doctors doing that anymore. Most people now who go to a doctor, they don't even have sometimes a face-to-face encounter with them. They're sitting in front of computers, searching for the latest pill to give this person. So things have changed dramatically. And luckily, I have the comparative, the narrative that was being given to us 60 years ago, 70 years ago, when people were thriving. There was no obesity epidemic. All the children had rosy, natural cheeks. They didn't have the gamut of allergies that people are struck with now. They didn't have all these things going on. So, yeah, the medical industry does not want people like me to thrive in my later years. But by staying on my proper human diet, that's exactly what's happening. My strength is increasing. Like I said, my stamina, my lung capacity, the signs of aging, of age spots, this, that, the other, the doctors say, no, they're all falling away. Chilblains are disappearing. Any veins on my legs are fading dramatically, which totally counteracts the narrative given that the type of food I'm eating, natural food, is going to cause deposits of cholesterol to be laid down in my arteries and lead me to a stroke. And nothing could be opposite. When you've got your veins fading, what's it telling you? The blood flow's increased. Everything's functioning brilliantly. Sleep is fabulous. Everything. Skin. In fact, I feel I'm getting younger. So, like I said, these companies, the pharmaceutical companies, the food processors, the manufacturers are going to be doing whatever they can to deter people away, to give them doubt, to give them uncertainty. Don't listen to any of it. Stay on it. Get the results that you know are happening for you. Keep those results going and don't be deterred. Don't feel uncertain. Don't look at these things that are going to just put doubt in your mind. Stay in your own lane. Enjoy the health and well-being you're experiencing and know that it's going to continue the older you become and the longer you stay on your proper diet. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.